Okay, I have to admit that I have been making this out to be a very big deal in my head. Um, so I've been thinking about it a lot, but also putting off actually sitting down to record because I wanted to make something super special and I just have not had the time yet. However, if you want me to go more in depth with you face to face, feel free to reach out and I would just be so absolutely honored to offer that for you, to do that with you. Anyways, with what information I was able to gather, I do have a small chart reading for your 31st birthday, even though it is a day late. But like, that just means an extra gift for you, right? Um, I hope that this brings you just a small amount of the happiness and wonder that your creativity has given to me over the years. Just not just your creativity, but your essence in general. Before we begin, I just wanted to mention the board games, the like some lovely board game series that Sammy did. I still think about the noodles. They're long and nice. And then but they're no, it should have been they're nice and long. Little snippets like that live in my brain. And yeah, it's really cool to be offering like symbolism back to somebody who has structured some of the symbolism in my own brain. Um, but this is just a small gift back. Uh, hopefully that made sense. I, like I said, am admittedly a little bit nervous, um, but I hope that you find value in this. This one's going to be focused on your perfection year. There might be a part two. We'll see. But what is a perfection year? It's essentially the theme of your year based on the age that you are. This chart illustrates it really well. First, I'll also note there's typically a Time Lord that is associated with a perfection year, and that is discovered by your rising sign, and whichever sign is in the house that that year is ruled by, if that makes sense. So say that you're an Aries rising, then a first house perfection year would be an Aries perfection year, and it would be ruled by Mars because Mars rules Aries. So I do not know which sign this is because I don't know your rising, and I do not know which planet rules the year. So those are the two things that we do not know, sign and planet. But what we do know is that this is an 8th house perfection year for you because you turned 31. Congratulations. So, topics that could be coming up this year include other people's resources, how you manage other people's resources. Considering that you have a fan base, there could be some changes, perhaps, or just like extra focus on whatever, like maybe new products being put out or price changes or something along those lines. Again, if I knew the sign, I would be able to know what planets are kind of moving through there. But regardless, the topics that are going to be coming up have to do with other people's resources as well as taboos in society, things that we don't necessarily like to talk about, but are also kind of fun to talk about because they're taboos. So you have sex and death and beginnings and endings, the things that are out of touch from your physical body, the existence that lies beyond your what you own, if that makes sense. To compare this to last year, your 30th year was ruled by the 7th house, which has to do with love and relationships. partnerships, one-on-one connections. So you might have, if you want to reflect on last year and see how that theme carried throughout your 30th year. And also, you can look at when you were 18, how that theme carried throughout, and when you were 6, how that theme carried throughout the year. And this year, just like I mentioned, 8th house is going to be about other people's resources. You can look at your 19th year and see how you manage that, what kind of topics came up, and what lessons you were learning. And when you're 7, same thing. And that might help you prepare or journal, give you something fun to think on for this year. Now, this is your chart, and this is the current planets, actually the planets as of yesterday, your birthday. The first thing I notice is that there's a lot happening. I mean, there's a lot happening in Aries in general. And since you're in Aries, this is going to likely really impact you. It's also forming a sextile, a trine, which is a very smooth form of communication to Mars, which rules Aries. So you might be feeling very ambitious about many different things this year, like, and not ambitious in a I must go super quick sort of way, but with Saturn here communicating with that Mars, there's that potential for you to be like, wow, I want to take the spotlight in Leo, but in a slower, more sustainable, perhaps way. And with Neptune entering Aries as well, and also Mars now in Aries, there could definitely be a lot of, I want to take initiative to do something new and different, but sustainable. Like, I want to do something new and bold, maybe expressing yourself in creating a new brand, almost a new era, which makes sense if the not for lack of trying era is over. So those are kind of the big things that stood out to me. Is everything happening with Aries and your Mars sign, as well as the 8th house perfection year. In summary, let's see if we have another slide. No. In summary, things to think on are how you're managing other people's resources, what your relationship to various taboos in your life are, and how you are going to show up this year using your energy and spotlight and public image to create something sustainable for yourself. I'm using a more vague terminology because, again, I do not know when it comes to these signs which houses they are in, so which areas of life they're going to impact for you, but that's the general energy. I hope that you derived something from this, and yeah, happy birthday. Love you lots.